Yes, we have learned that humans have many lasts. This is the last one. No, now this is really the last one. Now it's really, really the last one.
Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Thank you for receiving my questions.
It is our pleasure and our passion.
And also, I knew that my name was going to be called when it was called.
All
so
right.
Whatever that's worth.
Thank you for your synchronicity.
So you mentioned that the Master Skull is in Guatemala.
I didn't say it was in Guatemala. I said it was created in the area that you now call Guatemala.
Okay.
That was an Atlantean province at the time.
Okay. Do we know where it's at?
I do. Do you?
I do
No.
not. So, will you share where it's at?
No. But it will if you ask it properly.
What is the proper way to ask?
You will have to figure out the proper way to ask what the proper way to ask is. I'm not being facetious. This is part of the mystery. Because in every question is the answer if you ask the question in the right way. And that's part of the training, is to understand what questions to ask. It's not always as direct as, where's the Master Skull? There's a lot more to it than that, but if you figure out how to ask the question correctly, the duplicate copying skull will give you the information. But part of the mystery is figuring out what's the right question.
Good. So the energy that's in the Master Skull,
Yes.
there is assistance or help for humanity?
Of course.
Okay.
There is a vast, vast library of stored information in the Master Skull, much of which is, again, accessible in the duplicate skull, because that was the point of bringing that library to different places around the planet.
Is the timing right now for this to be revealed and shared with the world?
In general, not necessarily specifically, but it also depends upon the group, it depends upon the individuals, depends upon where, depends upon how. Like I said, if you can figure out, whether alone or together with others, how to ask the correct question, then the timing will be correct. It requires understanding what the question is that demonstrates when the timing is correct.
Are human beings stewarding the skull right now? Is it caretakers with it?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
But not just human beings.
Who else?
Not the right question. Are you having fun puzzling this out?
I am. Okay.
All right.
So to switch gears,
Yes.
I would like to ask if we could channel in our highest and best vision for humanity in the year 2050.
What are you asking?
I'm asking to bring in a prayer, a vision that we have that we can walk forward.
Is this any different than simply remaining in your passion and knowing that by staying in that vibration and being in alignment with your truth, that will actually be the rudder that navigates you through the different versions of Earth that will ultimately manifest for you in the version that you prefer to exist in? That's how it works. That's why we give that to you. That is the prayer. Follow your passion to the best you can, with no insistence or assumption as to the outcome. That is the prayer state. That's the state of grace. We've broken it down into those actions for you so that you understand what to do to be in that state. That will navigate you, that will guide you through various versions of Earth that will ultimately manifest the version that you prefer.
And that's an answer for the collective?
Or an individual. But again, you will only experience those individuals that have also chosen to match that frequency and create a shared reality. You will not experience the individuals that haven't, because that will be their choice. It doesn't have to be everyone's choice to live in an idyllic version of Earth. And you can't insist that it must be. You simply take yourself to that version and you will see who is there with you. And they will be sufficient. Because they have chosen to be there. Yes?
Yes.
Because it's about freedom to choose, right?
Correct.
All right. So is that good enough?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I appreciate it.
All right.
And then how would you assess our current paradigm right now? Where are we at in our evolution?
Compared to what?
In just a general question.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you weren't doing pretty good, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Makes sense.
Not bragging, just saying you can use the idea that these conversations exist as a marker that you're moving in a very positive direction and that you're doing very well. Because we don't spend time having pointless conversations with individuals who are not moving in the direction of our particular vibrational reality. So this should be a sign that you're doing okay. Yes?
That we're doing okay?
Yes. Or we wouldn't be having this conversation with you because there would be no point in it. And we don't do pointless things.
Got it.
Make
All right.
sense?
Yep.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So do we. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Hello. I'm very grateful to speak with you today.
As are we.
Very nervous. So.
Why? You mean excited?
Excited.
Oh, all right.
I have some experiences that I've gone through that I have some questions.
Speak up so that all may hear you.
Okay. For the last 2.5 years, I've learned how to leave my body while meditating, lying down.
How exciting. Just like the ancient priests we discussed.
In one out-of-body experience, my consciousness traveled or focused on being out in the universe, and I saw planets and a huge structure, ship, or city. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Could you possibly tell me anything more about this place and how I'm connected
Well,
to it?
there are a lot of civilizations, including ours, that have enormous city ships. So you might have to be a little bit more specific about what you saw in order for us to identify it.
Can I send a message? A picture
Do you have a picture?
in my head.
Then describe it.
It was massive. It
Was
wasn't.
there a particular overall shape to it?
It was oval with two round sides on the two round structures on the side and like a bar going through the middle.
All right. We know who that is.
Is there anything more you could tell me about that? Is it a city?
Well, kind of, yes. There are literally hundreds of thousands of individuals in it. So, yes, you would call it a city ship.
So I would assume I'm connected to them.
I would assume so. Although, you could also have simply been scanning. Because if they were sending out a particular frequency of their own to scan, which that particular civilization can, they might have simply picked up on the idea of your astral form, which they can do. They actually have sensors that can read astral forms.
Okay.
So they might have picked up on the fact that you were curious and you were traveling and you were noticing them.
Okay, thanks. In that same experience, I saw maroon octopi beings.
A slight translation. There is a similarity to the way they look, but it's still a slight translation in your particular brain as to what makes sense to you. It's the best representation you could come up with.
Okay. That particular form I kind of just looked at and then moved on, and that's when I saw
All right.
the city. Okay. Thank you.
Well, one moment. They actually are willing to send a message for you, if you wish.
Yes, please.
Now that we are having a conversation about them. Are you willing to receive the message?
Yes. Thank you.
Ha saw you. I know that seems a little odd, but they're just letting you know by saying that you're actually welcome back anytime if you wish to explore them further.
Yes, thank you.
So next time you do that, why don't you think about that image and see if you can have a longer interaction with them.
Thank you.
They're more than willing to invite you to do so. And they're very, 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 very humorous.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm getting past the fear of leaving my body in the past.
Why? Are you afraid you're going to get stuck out or something?
No, I mean, just the actual leaving was very intense. And
all right.
Now it's becoming much easier.
All right. So you're not really afraid of doing it now?
No.
All right. You'll have more fun if you're not afraid.
Yes.
All right.
I just state that I'm light and love, and it just gets rid of any fear.
Well, all right. But if there is a fear, it might be a wise idea to understand what belief system you might be holding on to that is generating it, so that you can learn something about yourself. Mm-hmm. That's okay too. Yes?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
I also have a strong connection with Mount Shasta, and I was told in a reading that I have a deep, using the word connection, but with inner earth. Is there any more you could share about this?
Well, it's another dimension. When people talk about inner earth, it's not actually physically inside your earth. Mm-hmm. It appears as if it is, but when people enter that, it's actually another dimension.
Okay.
So yes, you do have a connection to that. And it's a strong nature connection. In other words, a strong nature-spirit connection.
Yes, I understand that completely.
All right. So you can have conversations with them too. And they're not actually very far off from the civilization you encountered in terms of their energy.
Okay.
They all like to kind of play around with humans a lot.
Okay, thank you.
You understand? Mm-hmm. They are, I'll put it this way, a little bit tricky, but that's all right. They're attempting to sort of trick you into understanding something different other than your preconceived notions of things. Yes?
I have a sort of, yes.
And?
But that makes sense because I'm a gardener and I've been connected
all right.
earth and plants and
all right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. And lastly,
really lastly?
Well, no, actually I have 1,000 questions, but I've consolidated.
All right.
2 weeks ago, I left my body again, and this time the high vibration was very euphoric. It wasn't so intense. It was really euphoric. I felt like I could stay there for a long time, but then after an hour, I think it really was too intense for my body. But anyways, I sensed that I was tuning into parallel realities of myself.
Yes.
I was seeing myself just looking differently. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. I know it, but it's lovely. It's
all right.
Great to hear the validation that.
All right. Well, happy travels.
Thank you very much.
こんにちは、バシャールさん。私は日本人です。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
お元気ですか？
はい。私の質問なんですが、私は、小さい時から、宇宙と自分との関係がすごく深いと思って、私はどこの星から来て、どこの星に帰るのかなといつも思ってました。それをもし聞けたら嬉しいんですが、どこの星から来て、どこの国からどこの星へ帰るのかを聞きたいです。
I've been wondering where I was from and where I'm going since she was little, so she would like to know.
All right. Well, first and foremost, you as this person are from Earth. It's not about coming from other places. It's about having connections to other places that can make you feel like you're from there, but it's just the connection energy that you're feeling to those other places.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And where you are going is wherever you wish to go by following your passion to the best you can with no insistence on the outcome. That's where you will wind up. Wherever it is, it will be correct if you stay in that energy.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Something else?
Yes. About family, パートナーと今やり直しをしようと思ってるんですけども、何か重要なアドバイスがあれば聞きたいです。
She's trying to restart the relationship with her partner, and she would like to know if you have any pointer for that suggestion.
You are trying to restart it. Is that what she is saying?
I'm sorry. She's trying to make up and try to start up fresh with her husband.
Because something happened that changed it?
Yes.
What?
He was,
So her husband was a little bit abusive to her in the past.
And has he changed? Or is he still the same?
he changed.
Are you sure?
Yes.
If he has changed, then why would it be difficult to start fresh? If it is difficult to start fresh, something hasn't changed. What is it that's difficult? Are you afraid he has not changed?
Sometimes she had difficulty communicating with him.
In what way is there difficulty? Can you be more specific?
Their communication it's not in harmony, or he couldn't understand. She said one thing and he doesn't understand exactly what.
And then why would you want to be in a relationship with someone you are unable to communicate with?
Because her husband had a deep love to the family and to her as well.
Do you not believe you can attract someone that is deeply in love that you can also communicate with more clearly?
She wants to have a relationship with her husband.
She is not answering the question. Why is it necessary to have a relationship with someone you cannot communicate with? If you say he has changed, then why is the communication still difficult? Will it be easier for her to answer a different question?
She wants to try.
Why?
Because he was the partner she chose in the first.
But that may mean you have learned what you needed to learn from that partner. It doesn't necessarily have to continue if he's not willing to change enough that you can communicate with him clearly. Maybe you have learned everything you need to learn from that particular partner and then take that into the next relationship that might be better for you. What do you think about that idea?
Hi. Yes.
Yes? You think that might work for you?
Yes.
All right. Then you have your answer.
Thank you. And I want one more about my.
She's practicing a quantum touch as her profession. She wants to know if there's anything she can help for the people.
She is practicing what?
It's called quantum touch.
Do you feel a flow of energy through you when you do it?
Yes.
Then you understand you will simply attract the people that you need to attract who wish to participate in that particular technique, yes? Are you advertising that you do this? Are you letting people know that you do this quantum touch?
Yes.
Is there something else you can do to let more people know?
I think so. Yes.
All right. Then do it. Use your imagination. Put yourself out there. Let people know you're doing it. If it's exciting to you, if this is your passion, think of different ways to let people know you're doing it, and then they will be attracted to you.
Yes.
But let us go back to the idea of you and your husband. You have said, basically, that you think he has changed. But if you start moving on, if you show him the consequences of his choices to not communicate clearly with you, if you move on, then he might choose to learn to communicate more clearly with you, which will let you know you can continue the relationship. But if he doesn't, change in that way, if communication doesn't become clearer, that's your signal that you need to move on into a relationship where the communication is what you prefer it to be. Yes? You understand? Wakarimasu ka?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.